as I was sharing, 80% is made out of our subconscious mind. This means that we are not aware of what's running our lives. And that's why we need to dive deeper into this process of activating specific portals within our bodies to be able to remove all that unconscious mind that is controlling us. When we are resisting everything, we are ultimately resisting the creative source energy that can do anything in our lives. It can solve any situation. It can bring up all solutions from a much higher perspective than the lower self was able to see. So especially in moments that we feel blocked, stressed out, worried, we fear, this is the time in which the best thing we can do is shifting into the divine will. Divine will knows the solution. Divine will bring out of the blue many solutions that the mind is not even able to think of. In this journey of spiritual evolution, there's a time when the ego structure already chooses that it's time to merge into the divine self, because it already sees that there's no way, that it doesn't have the clue to face the situations that we are going through. And this is when, because the ego, because it's made out of this duality concept and judgment, always wants to control the outcome, wants to control the situation, wants to decide how the process will take place, wants to make a thing happen according to its limited vision of reality. It's not able to see the bigger picture out of worry or fear. And it is also, you can think about any issue that you may have in your life. And what your mind does is it is already preparing the outcome based on your limitation. If your limitation is money, when you think of your future, I have to pay this bill, you are thinking of the past experience, I have no money, so I cannot pay. If you have a problem with relationships, you think of the past and you say, this person used to be that way, it is going to react that way. And you set out the stage and things will go the way that you decided, out of the mind, out of the limitation, out of the previous experiences. And every time you are creating your future, you are creating your future according to what happened in the past, and you are in this loop over and over again. So the mind wants to find a solution out of forcing, pushing, efforting, and this can be very draining, it can be exhausting, it can be overwhelming, because the mind always tries to make it happen from this lower aspect. Your higher self, which is the divine aspect, is one that has all the knowledge of your soul's evolution, of your soul's lesson, what is your highest timeline reality, what's your purpose, and it can create the best life ever for you, because you came here to expand your consciousness by choosing greater potentials, greater solutions, greater evolution. You came here to experience from a place of love, from a place of abundance in all areas of your life. And all this can be experienced even bigger than what you ever thought when you allowed the divine to lead the way, to guide you. It can send you all that you ever desire, even before you desired. And it will be aligned to your highest expression. So the biggest shift in consciousness you can ever make is to go through this, opening the seal. So when you go through the process of opening the seal of divine will, because there's certain specific parts of the body that are unlocking and opening, you are able to allow the divine to lead the way. And then you learn to follow the energy, to follow the inner guidance. You open the blessings that are coming, and life becomes easier, effortless, with magic, with miracles that they come on its way. And you don't need to effort or struggle anymore. You don't need to force from your power, because you become an empty vessel. And because you become an empty vessel, the divine flows through you, and everything is pouring to you out to the world, and you are blessed constantly in ways that you couldn't even imagine out of your lower self. So this is a huge shift. This is the biggest shift that you could ever make. This is the difference between the human power and the divine power. The human power wants to force its will upon reality, upon others. The divine power is sending the blessings always, looking for the highest benefit for all. So there's no attachment, there's no biting, there's no forcing, there's no pushing, there's no need to control, no need to be in survival mode, just allowing, accepting with gratitude. And then there's a constant flow. So the divine power and divine will merge within the higher self, the divine self. And you align your spiritual path, becoming a channel of the divine that flows through you. And at this moment, all the forces of the universe are supporting you, are guiding you. The whole universe and the whole creation is at your back. Can you imagine that? Can you feel the huge shift from living from the lower perspective or aligned to the higher self?